Doxy here for Tax Shack Tactical TV. I'm with Paul Oxley from Ghana, South Africa, for our weekly update on what's happening. Welcome, Paul.
Hi, Lynn. Thank you very much. Thanks, viewers, for tuning in. Started the year off quickly, I think.
Yeah, it's you can't actually believe it's the middle of the month already.
It's the middle of January.
2022.
Yeah, only another 200 days until payday. Interesting things happened. Okay, so obviously well, let's just cover the stuff that we've spoken about before, just quickly. The court case coming up on the 2nd and the 3rd of February, where we're asking for declaratory orders about the competence, but also for what constitutes a license, and that to follow on from that the printout of the enhanced firearms management system must be produced and will suffice as proof of licensing. So that's quite important.
You think we'll get an answer on the 2nd or 3rd?
You know,
you never know.
I think the police are going to argue that they're going to oppose the application, I think, at the last moment. It's unopposed at the moment because they haven't bothered to put in their opposition, which is typical. I think that they're going to argue that the competence thing is moot because they've already produced the competence for the person, the specific person at issue. We're going to argue that, but this is not an answer to the problem. We have to answer the problem, and then we're going to bring in truck and trailer. We're going to bring in the whole rest of the administrative incapacity thing. So we think we're on pretty solid ground. We think that the way that judges seem to be at the moment is I don't know, it depends on who you draw on the day, I suppose, but it seems to be that we might have a very good chance of getting an answer on the day. And then the state will probably challenge it, because that's what they do.
Well, we hope for the best.
But yeah, so that's good. From GOSA's membership side, we've had to increase our fees from the end of this month for new members, and from the end of this financial year, which is the end of February, for existing members that are renewing. It's just we hadn't done a fee increase in 6 years since we implemented paid membership. It was time, so we've implemented a 10% increase, and hopefully, well, definitely in the years going forward, we'll make the fee increases more regular but smaller, so they keep pace with inflation. Our staff component is growing here by the year.
That's why we, as from Tax Shack side, had to expand on the other side because
exactly, we have to move out. I have to build new offices for Tax Shack because we have to vacate this office we're sitting in for GOSA. The GOSA is growing like a weed, and it's getting more important. I'd announced when I announced the fee increase, I said that we have 180 open queries with CFR at the moment. And Sean, who deals with those, has informed me yesterday afternoon it's now over 200. So by the day they're growing by tens. Yeah. So that's quite important. So we've had to implement an increase in fees, in membership fees, just to keep pace, just so that we can. We've been very fortunate in the years up till now. Our membership growth has been such that it's mitigated the increase in costs, but we've reached a point now where it's actually not sustainable. We have to look for a proper, more sustainable route forward, and it's not unfair to expect the user pay principle to apply to this, because we do a lot of GOSA law spends half his day on the phone giving free legal advice to people who aren't even necessarily members, but they need the legal advice. So, and we're happy to provide that. That's part of our public. That's part of our public benefit that we provide, which is important for us in order to get our public benefit organisation status. In order to be a public benefit organisation, you have to provide a benefit to the public. Simple.
But he does.
We do.
I refer a lot of queries to him, and he's always on the phone helping. As I said, most of them are not even members.
Exactly that. But that's the point. So there is that, and it's gone down quite well, I must say. People seem to be accepting. We've come up with all sorts of clever ways that people can save some money while still re-upping and joining as new, where they can save a couple of pounds for at least a year, and that seems to be appreciated. We understand it's difficult out there. Hell, we're in that place ourselves. You know, we have to turn every. For example, our we used to give out a monthly
Monkey Mail.
I want to say Monkey Mail, I want to say Gorillagram, but of course it's MailChimp. We used to give out a monthly newsletter on MailChimp. It was costing us about 7,000 Rand a month in MailChimp costs. So we've tried to figure out this weekly update is a way of addressing that, so we can give that kind of information over more readily on a more regular basis, and it doesn't cost us as much. It still costs us production costs and stuff, but it doesn't cost us as much. We're also working on another mail solution that we tried out the first one yesterday. It tied up Answer's PC for like 6 hours, and then Google throttled us at 1,000 emails. So, and we've got 14,000 members that we're sending mails out to. Not all 14,000 are current members. Some of their membership has lapsed, but we hope to win them back. You know, they already know who we are. It's just that their circumstances are such that perhaps it's a bit more difficult for them. But we hope to win them back by continually showing what we're doing.
And this weekly updates, we can respond quite quickly.
Yes.
If something happens that's more important, it's breaking news in terms of that.
Correct.
We usually do that earlier than on the Friday.
And as an example of that, earlier this week, so there was a lot of heat that was created last year by the police's release of the draft Firearms Control Amendment Bill. A lot of people sent in objections. A lot of people sent in very detailed objections. Somebody that we didn't expect, and a sector that we didn't expect to jump to our assistance. We've just heard of, I've got it here. This is their 35-page, small type, tightly spaced objection to the Firearms Control Amendment Bill. Sorry, I'm going to mess with my microphone now by taking out my reading glasses, but it's really small type. I mean, apart from the fact that I'm half blind. And this is by a consultant that works for a government organization called the South African Heritage Resource Agency. So these acts they are tasked with looking after South Africa's heritage items, our history. They include the museums, etc., etc., etc. The title of so they have now registered a case, the South African Heritage Resource Agency, case ID 16576. The title is Heritage Crime, Police Minister Becky Cele, publication of the Firearms Control Amendment Bill. Because of course what over the last 2 years with the amnesties, the two amnesties, 3 years of the last two amnesties, what's supposed to happen when firearms are surrendered and before they get sent for destruction, the police are legally bound to call in the South African Heritage Resource Agency and tell them that they intend to destroy items. Can the South African Heritage Resource Agency please attend, inspect the weapons, and sign them off as not heritage items, not something which could possibly be a valuable part of South Africa's heritage, our history. Even if it's history you don't like, that's the thing about history. History is history. You know, whether you like it or not, it's history. So these guys have gone and registered a case against Police Minister Becky Cele for a heritage crime. So this is very interesting because there are people out there. There are aspects. There are perspectives that we can't immediately see, that they don't occur to us. But these guys are up in arms because, yeah, I know, sorry. They're up in arms because this is a South Africa's heritage, which has been over the last two amnesties destroyed, and which is being destroyed. When the point they make is that when this bill, if this bill were to see the light of day, which we don't think it's gonna, but it might come back in some form. When this does see the light of day, and people are unable to continue owning a whole bunch of firearms, they're going to dump them at police stations. The police are going to be less inclined to worry about the South African Heritage Resource Agency, so they're just going to pile them all into skips, take them off to the foundries and melt, or sell them out the back door, whatever, whatever the police prefer to do. So they are worried about, the Heritage Resource Agency is worried about exactly that. So they contacted us and they said, listen, would you guys like to register with us as experts, who can help us assess heritage value?
That's interesting.
So we're going to put together
a team of people that know about
a large team of people
that can go out and inspect weapons and see if there's
because
anything,
if there's anything historical about it or anything, it was Wim Pietie's voorlaier that whatever. Dude, that's potentially a heritage resource item. That's part of our heritage as South Africans, all of us. This links back to where we've always the first gun control legislation in this country was introduced by the Cape Provincial Administration back in the 1800s in order to combat the Basotho who were pushing against at that stage the Cape Colony's eastern frontier. And the Cape Colony's eastern frontier was looking to expand out towards Lesotho area, and there was conflict between the parties. And the traders in East London, etc., had been trading muskets to the Basotho in exchange for, I don't know what, cattle, whatever. And so the tribes people, the Basotho, were armed. And they started to engage the settlers that were encroaching on their land. And that was what was termed at that stage the War of the Gun. And it was a black liberation struggle against encroaching settlers. And the Cape Provincial Administration quickly jumped into the thing and produced something which they called the Peace Preservation Act, which was South Africa's first gun control legislation. And it was designed to keep guns out of black people's hands. The Peace Preservation Act was one of the examples that John Temba Jabavu, who was a militant from the Basotho, who rose up and fought against the settlers, was one of the reasons that he started a little organization, or he was instrumental in starting a little organization that a couple of years later became known as the African National Congress. So the African National Congress actually has their roots in the opposition to the disarming of black people, and they are now the biggest agents for it, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that is. It's
kind of a real kick in the short and curlies for the ANC.
So you're going to provide a list.
So anyway, so this is why our heritage, all of our heritage, in South Africa is critically important. We need to know that. It's been wiped from the books. Nobody wants to talk about the Peace Preservation Act or the War of the Gun, because it doesn't suit the current political narrative. We have to break through that to the truth. The truth is our history, our shared heritage.
Yes.
The Basotho fighting against the settlers defending themselves against the Basotho, or the other way around.
Some of the weapons used in the
but that's important.
liberation struggle is also part of our heritage.
Exactly.
All of it's part of our heritage.
From all sides. It's an important historical artifact.
One of those houses I could remember, one of the historical houses that we went to a long time ago, there was some buried weapons and stuff that was recovered, that was used by the ANC, if I could remember, or...
Oh, you mean the Shell House? No, we're not talking about. Let's not go there.
Which one I'm talking about? They actually dug it out of the property where it was built.
Yes.
Those are part of it's part of our heritage.
It's part of our heritage, guys. It's not something that you hide away from. It's something you put in a museum and you tell people about because it's important. You know what they say? Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Well, Anyway, so that's an example of the stuff which you can talk about here. This wouldn't be relevant to talk about on the monthly newsletters. So that's why this chairman's update is so important, because we can chuck stuff that just appears on our desks. We can chuck this in front of the audience and say, well, look, here we are. So that's something we're going to do. We're saving ourselves. We're saving the organisation money, which gives us, which means we can ask for a slightly smaller increase in membership fees. We're starting the year out with a bang on the 2nd and 3rd of February in the North Gauteng High Court. We think we've got a very good case. We think we'll walk away with a win. We don't go to, sometimes you fight fights that you're not sure you're going to win. This one we're pretty sure that it's a done deal, because it's trite administrative law. An administrative action has to be just in terms of the law, and the administrative actions that we're being subjected to, particularly with the competencies and the times that are taken, are just not just.
It's not just.
Cannot be construed to be just. So guys, please support us. Keep listening to the chairman's update. We will be putting everything together in a monthly email. We have to communicate much more with our members, but this helps us to communicate much more frequently.
Please leave it, and we can actually address it in the next next update.
So thank you very much, Lynette. Thank you very much, Tax Shack Tactical TV, for hosting us and providing us with this facility to communicate with our members. We're going to win this.
I've got two sort of updates from my side. The first says that we've got finalised the dates for the Ladies Stop Shot. It's going to be held on the 2nd of April at Wattle Springs at Bronkhorstspruit Way. We're busy finalising everything. Everybody's asking me, when is the registration opening? We're just finalising everything. Hopefully by the end of next week we will have that out. Ladies, watch out for it, because I've got an idea that of the number of inquiries that we've had, that it's going to be booked up within maybe 8 hours pre-booked. There's a lot of people that's just waiting for the registrations to open. The other thing is, in terms of the Gun Buddies program, we're having a jingle done like we've done for the Girls on Fire. Thank you very much to Josh Greenwood and her sons, the Greenwood twins. They're busy writing a song. They're using a song that was written by one of the other ladies
setting it to
music, and then we're going to actually have some auditions for kids to actually sing the jingle. It's going to be much better than the Eddie Eagle one, and it will basically go into gun safety for kids. So very exciting. So watch out for that.
We're very proud of it.
Yeah, we're very proud of it. And yeah, it's an exciting program, and hopefully we'll be able to get that out to the kids very soon. Anything else, Paul?
Yeah, have a lucky weekend.
Yeah, have a fantastic weekend. See you next week.